Well, this is not a lecture. Oh, was it that bad? This is not a lecture, and it is by far the greatest workshop I've ever had with people at one time. I mean, this is, we are incredibly many for this event. So we have to be prepared for a little mixture of chaos and order. But that's very she-like. I could perhaps start by saying that I have conducted thousands of lectures. I'm not underestimating thousands of lectures. And I have conducted many hundreds of workshops. But since the she involvement in my life started, a new element of losing control has entered. And this is definitely because of the she nature. So if I should give you a and I would also like to welcome the people who are on live stream, just by the way, because I'm told that this is being live streamed. Wonderful. One of the things I early learned when I prepared for she workshops was that I could do whatever I wanted, but in the final moment things would turn up differently. And at a certain point I asked my she friend, Findhorn, I asked him, how should I mean, I did so much work before things, and he was very happy with my preparation. I mean, he was very happy with my preparation, but the sense I got from him was, it is as if you are collecting a lot of timber. So let's just see what we will do with it when we are there. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, but to be exposed to it very dramatically was, to say the least, very stressful for me and demanding, because I had to let go of a lot of... It's very easy for me to coordinate things and everything is right there, the timing is perfect. I've done that incredibly many times, but this has brought me into a new space. And this passport session will hopefully bring us in a certain direction towards the butterfly in the mountain. So what is this title about? It is basically about a wonderful, you get it. Something full of wonder, which is to lay the foundation of our inner she nature. So in a way, the title points at what we are invited to integrate into our lives, namely the nature of the butterfly in synthesis with the nature of a mountain. So it is a key to what our inner she nature is about. If we take these two, it is very, very different. It is so different. A mountain and a butterfly. You almost can't find opposites, or, I mean, a mountain, boom. It's just there. It does nothing but boom. Oh, it's incredible. Then we have the butterfly. It's completely out of control. You can't get it. It's everywhere and it's nowhere, and it's so etheric, and yet it is so intelligent. It is so beautifully well ordered in its beautiful unpredictability in a way. But it is not an accidental thing. It's not an accident. A butterfly is not an accident. It is a wonder in the air. I remember that Rudolf Steiner once is supposed to have said that the butterfly doesn't even know it has a physical body. It's not aware of having a body with the density of the physicality that we have, but it is there. So I'm going to invite us to experience things together. And it won't take many minutes, then we'll actually leave our seats and do some incredibly crazy stuff down here. I would like to start by introducing all of you to, we could say, a Nordic version of how we can combine the nature of the mountain with the nature of the butterfly. And it is a Nordic version. We can talk endlessly about the she, but it is the personal experience that makes the difference. So I really encourage you now to take in the fact that right now we are in a setting where we are inviting our own inner she nature to pop up and participate. And this, it might create different reactions. It depends on your background and how you, what you like and what you don't like. But I would say this, that for strictly analytical persons who are socially awkward, this is a frightening setting. Because do I need to do something with my body? Yes, you do. Oh no. Can you tell me beforehand what we are going to do? So I have I would like really to know what we are really doing. No, we can't. Oh, I'm out. You know. I mean, it is very provocative for persons who are also persons who are stuck in their head. My theosophical background, I mean it, 30 years, 3 decades of non-stop teaching and being in the theosophical environment. The wisdom is wonderful, but here and there you might find people who are stuck in their head. They want everything explained and they get unsecure immediately when you invite for something that is related to feeling or sensing or doing. Then they step back and, very interesting. I think, could we have a discussion about this? Because they are scared to death. Do you get it? They are scared. And I understand it, but we need to be scared. 32 years ago, I was here at the conference One Earth, A Call to Action. And I was scared to death because something in me decided that I should attend a workshop with Firewalk. And it had not even come to Denmark at that point. And the decision was made within, and then my analytical and my rational mind started, you're crazy. And at that point, I was actually having a short period in my life where I was smoking. So I had to go outside the caravan we were taking up here to Findhorn, and I was standing outside having a smoke. The evening before the workshop, I couldn't even, get calm enough. And then the next day, I made the Firewalk workshop, and it was an incredible release because I realized I don't have any control over this. I just have to trust and see what happens, and then I sort of befriended the fire. I didn't want to conquer the fire. I befriended the fire, and I had to walk 3 times. Even with my big Danish friend, Kåre, who is actually interested in this conference but not able to attend today. So we walked hand in hand on Firewalk, and it was incredible. And so I want to let go of all this. We are at Findhorn, we are playing. We want to do something. So get up here and let's make a circle. And I realized it will be a big circle. Oh my God. Okay, we need to make 2 circles. There's nothing here that works. so let's make a smaller circle, and I need to be in the inner circle. And if we say about 20 people in the inner circle, would that help? 25? Would that help? Are you able to have the outer circle at the same time? Good. Right. Whew, that's a little better. But we really need to have enough space to move around. So this introduction is really an opening to the Nordic she reality in a very special way. So we should not fall on the floor. Do you have enough space? You need to have a little moving space between you. Do you have that? If not, move a little further out. You have a limit there. Yes, okay. Good. Okay. So are we going to make a circle dance? Yes. Is it one you know? No. Is it difficult? No. Will you feel it's difficult? Perhaps. Here it comes. I want to learn you the steps and I really want you to have this feeling when the music starts. It's something very special. It's really invoking the she in the Nordic way. So if we take each other's hands, first of all. And now here at Findhorn, we go this way around. Right? This is the Findhorn way. So the dance starts like this. No, it doesn't. Okay. So what we do now is I learn you the moves before we put the music on, and there is an inner aspect of why we do it. So this way is forward in time towards the new, okay? So when we move this, no, it's, I'm just showing you. This way is moving into the future, into the ever becoming now, okay? When we go this way, we go back in time, okay? And then there is a third direction, which is out into the in-between, which is actually, so if I show you the moves, it is like this. Into, we don't say this, I just put the words, okay? Into the future. Back. Taking what is there and bring it with us. Taking an awkward step out into the wildness, bringing that back, and then we can continue into the future, back and collect what we have learned. Into the wildness, very awkward, strange new territory, back again. So we have this, we move forward, we remember and integrate the past, and we do the unexpected move, okay? Right? Let's try it. So the movements are simply, and we just catch the rhythm. Okay. 1, 2, back, and over there, and in. Again. So 2 fourth, 1 back, and then back to the starting position, and then out in the wild. 1, 2, back, into the wild, and back. Okay, right? That's it. It can't be more easy. Just when we start, you may be a little disoriented when the music starts, but okay, here it comes. The music we are going to hear and the singer we are going to hear is the Faroese singer Eivør. And she is a wild creature, and a gentle presence, and a powerful singer. And I've met her, and she is really, she is what she does. She's not a performer, she is living the art. And this is actually her signature song, and it's called Spellbound in English. She sings it in Faroese Trøllabundin, meaning spellbound. And it is about stepping into the fire of the heart. And there is a magician that has made this possible. We could call this the she-wizard. So it is about stepping into the heart fire, and it is a very wild place. And at the same time, there is a supervision of a magician. This is what the text really means of the song, okay? What I want you to do is that we all use this to get a sense of an atmosphere of deep connectedness to earth and a willingness to the wild at the same time. And when she starts with her voice, you know, not singing, but just put in your breath and go with her. Don't be polite and dressed up like a monkey, you know. Let go of stuff and just, but the only problem we have here is not much space. It could be much more crazy if we had more. Okay. So right now I just, again, show you. So 2 ahead, 1 back to starting position, and then in the wild, and then we can continue. Okay, here it comes. Oh, no, it's something else. It's because another piece of music is, there she is. No, it's not it. Wait. Sorry. I'll tell you. 1, 2, and 3. Wait for me. Ah, sorry. sorry. So, just stand for a moment and
siger ikke tilgængelig.
Just stand for a moment
ikke
and
forbindelse til internettet.
Just take in what we just did. And just feel within yourself, what is coming forth here? We are very different people. So very different reactions may come, but what is coming forth in this?
Well, if we don't walk together or keep time together, we get stepped on.
Yeah, that's true.
Wind and earth.
Yes. Wind and earth.
Wind and earth, yeah. Exuberance.
Exuberance. From the belly area, from the base area. Whoa. Right? What? Joy. Do you say joy? Great. And connecting, yes. This is very much about connecting. This is very much about stepping into a shared field of emerging consciousness. It's really about opening. Other? Please come.
Cohesiveness. When I was like totally in it and looking over here though, not to be you, but to see you, it was like this one big, beautiful, cohesive wave that was totally unique to all of it.
She's invoking. Fantastic.
Aliveness.
What?
Aliveness.
Aliveness, yes, exactly. I might tell you that if you ask Ivor if she believes in Huldra people, she might smile, but she comes from the Faroe Islands where the Huldra people are real, and she's constantly going into that field in her singing. If you see some of her music videos also, she's out in the mountains making moves, you know, so she becomes mountain woman, and she might be a diva. Not a deva, but a diva. but she's actually she's not a snob. Do you get my point? She's so much connected to it. What you actually did also was a kind of a version of the Faroese chain dance. It's not exactly the same, but it's very close to the Faroese chain dance, what we just did. So the Faroese people have a tradition of really, and they have songs with so incredible many verses that, I mean, hundreds of verses. And then there is a lead singer who's called the captain on the ship that sings. This, whoa. Wow. And now we need to have faith that this butterfly, whoa, it finds its way. Wow, it's, whoa. Whoa. I admit I had a box with a butterfly. I wanted, okay. All this has a lot to do with the she-nature because what we are doing, I'm doing this because I believe I'm more visible. I don't know if that's true or you. What is so important by doing this is that we step out of the rationality zone and we enter into a shared field where there is rhythm. There is also appreciation of above and below, and it is definitely part of the Faroese tradition where the Huldra people are much more common, accepted. But I also wanted to give you a gist of the power aspect of our she relatives, because often the she are presented in a very etheric way. Yes, perhaps, perhaps not. We don't know. We wish you all the best. Okay. Is it out there?
It's up in the top.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that very often the she are portrayed as very, very feminine and very, very etheric beings who are dancing, and they are. I mean, that's part of it. But we sometimes forget the power aspect of our she relatives. They are very powerful allies, and they are very, very intelligent. And what they live with in abundance is a connectedness that we mostly just imagine. I mean, we hope for connectedness. To our she friends, isolation is a strange country they don't know. Think about that.
When being isolated, it's death.
Yeah, you could say so, but I think for a she, it really doesn't make any sense, because they have never lost their connectedness. I think for now, if we try to take the seats, I'll invite you up very soon again, but I think if we just stand like this, it's a little difficult. We have to adapt. So where did you sit? Do you have any... what?
What's her name? Could you spell it out for us?
Who name?
The singer.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I'm being asked to spell the name of the singer, and her name is E-I-V-O with a slash and R. Ivor. E-I-V-O with a slash and R. Ivor. Because we have this O with a slash in the Nordic tongue. So, whoops. So what I would like to focus on now is I've introduced you to a power aspect of our she relatives, which also points at a power aspect within ourselves. So I would like to ask, you don't need to answer loud, but just think about this. How often do we really give ourselves in to natural power? How often do we really release the power in the present? Just think about how often we hesitate, take a step back, moderate ourselves, and give a limited version of something. Just think about it for a moment, because this is very much about business as usual. I would like us all to have this in mind. Our she nature is exactly what it is at any time, in any place. There is no regulation or censure that we know of. There is an utterly complete and genuine expression of what is. No hidden agendas. It's very important, because sometimes we humans, when we encounter people who express power, there's a hidden agenda. It's something, perhaps it's, I want to scare you, therefore I do this. I want to manipulate you into something, therefore I act like this. Just think, I'm not portraying our she friends as perfect beings. They have their struggles too. But it doesn't look like our struggles. So when I talk about that we withhold our energies, it really is about that we, how should I put it? We take away the very thing we are here to express. We take away the essence of what we are here to express by constantly adapting ourselves into all kinds of boxes filled with expectations of others and the social structure and the habits and the religion and the culture and blah, 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 blah. We are completely closed in. No, not all not 100%, but very much. Think of the she nature as being completely honest in the present about what is and going with it. I would say the world will not be transformed before we start doing this. And it is a dangerous thing. It is very dangerous for the world if we are let loose with that energy, because we in this room are incredibly transformative. So if we let go of all the hesitations, all the deliberations, all the doubts, all the cultural adaptations, we become very dangerous creatures. So, in order not to become destructive, we need to have a very gentle heart. And that's why if you attended my sharing earlier on, I had the 3 aspects of the she word, transforming them into a kind of motto: be you, be gentle, be wild. In that direction. Not be wild and then be you, and if there's something left, you can be gentle. Right? So first of all, you need to really start finding out, how can I really stay true to myself as the one I am? And this part is very difficult for many of us, because we don't even think we have a lovable personality. We long for the soul up there somewhere, but we disgust our personality. And if there is this situation, we're in deep trouble. The she nature in us is a beautiful, natural acceptance of the unique personalities that we are. Bodily, in our feelings, in our mental nature, there's no judgment really. And it is dangerous to go into this, because, whoa, what happens? So therefore, in order to stay true to ourselves, we need to follow it up by gentleness. And this gentleness, yes?
Can you just say a bit more about what you mean that it's dangerous? Dangerous to ourselves or dangerous to the status quo?
Everything. Everything becomes dangerous, because it's dangerous to the status quo because we become disruptive elements, and it's dangerous to ourselves because if we don't follow it first you have to be more and more yourself, and then as you discover yourself, let the gentleness of the heart really permeate all this that you step into, and then you become wild. Then you are not that dangerous, but you are very inconvenient for the existing order. And we need to be inconvenient. If we constantly adapt, first of all, what should our she relatives do in cooperation with us? We're just robots, you know. We can't do anything ourselves. So engaging with them is instantly an invitation to become gently wild. And so I would say it takes daring. We need to dare this. So the invitation is that I dare because I can't resist it, because it is so beautiful. I can't resist it because it is so wonderful to wake up again, to have this, and I have to say this is part of my own journey. Because of the awakening to the breath of life, I need to do funny things and crazy stuff in order to stay sane. Really. And it affects my surroundings. I could give you crazy examples. It's not to be silly. Each one of us needs to find out, how can I break traditions without tearing everything down? How can I renew? It's all about renewal. It's not about breaking down. It's about paving new ways. Life has to find its new ways, and that's also one of the crucial aspects of the cooperation between our she friends and us, because the earth cannot become whole, Gaia cannot heal if we are not, if we don't have a family reunion. And just think for a moment how difficult it is even for us to have family reunions with our own relatives. With people from other cultures or religions. Oh, especially one naughty religion that has become the scapegoat of all our fear. And I say this deliberately because it's a no-go path, really. So we have a challenge here. Sometimes I think this is crazy. We humans are so stuck up in our own inabilities to make our own family reunions, and now we are trying to include yet another kind of relative in. Welcome to the family. Oh, I mean, of broken relationships. You are invited. Could you please heal? I don't think that our she friends find it that attractive to, and just think about it. Oh, I would so much like to cooperate with the she. Oh, there you are. Me? You say I'm beautiful. No, I'm nothing. No, I'm nothing. No, I'm actually very boring. No. But you, I would like to cooperate with you. Just think about that. Will this have a chance of happening if I think that I'm trash and the she are wonderful? How should I mean, I play a she for a moment, okay? Oh, a human. Yes. I am human and I'm proud of it. Think about it. Proud of being human. Proud. We need to have this honoring our humanity in order to make it inviting for our she friends to say, this is interesting. It's not just a meatball full of excuses. So we really need to let loose two central aspects of our inner she nature, and it is the mountain aspect and the butterfly aspect. Well, there are several ways of describing this. The mountain can be described as our standing stone. Did you remember Jeremy? He was talking about the circle of standing stones, and he actually said that at a very early point, the standing stones were not stones, but people. So the art of being a stone, the art of being a stone is not to be stoned, but be the living stone. A stone as a portal, really standing true to the core of my being. And then from there, I open up to the gentleness. Be you, be gentle, and the gentleness is the dancer. So we have two now. We have the stone and the dancer. The mountain and the butterfly becomes the stone and the dancer. It's the same, different words about the same. So the base of our she nature is the stone and the dancer, or the mountain and the butterfly. To unite these two, how can we do that? We can make an exercise. So we need to get out on the floor again. This time we don't have the problems we had earlier on. Just come on the floor. Yeah. It comes, I'll expand it. If I don't get it, you ask me afterwards. Okay. No, sorry. You are so kind, you are very attentive. You are too attentive, my friend. I will give you a clear signal with my raised hand when we start the music. And I have not even found it yet, so I better find it. Oh yes, this is something completely different playing there. Okay. Goody, goody. Here we are. So, here we are. Yes. Great. So what I would like us to do now is to have a living experience of both being the mountain and the butterfly. And it is seemingly a simple exercise, but it can be demanding, and I'm curious how you experience your difficulty when we have finished it. Where is your challenge? So, first of all, this music that you'll hear in a moment is actually Irish she music. In Ireland, they have a she music tradition stemming from a Celtic harpist born blind, and his name was Turlough O'Carolan. And he was born blind, and he was renowned for having she contact. And he was visiting the she and coming back full of compositions, and he made it into harp music. So we are going to now to listen to a piece of music, and guess what its name is? The butterfly. So what I would, but now comes the challenge, because I would like you to become a butterfly on the floor. And please don't compare yourself to anybody else. You are one single butterfly in the universe, but you acknowledge there are strange other butterflies in the room. But you don't compare your own movements and say, oh, I'm not into this, I'm not a mover, I'm a sitter. But at a certain point, you must do this as part of the movement. From time to time, and I order you to do it, you must do it, you suddenly stop and stand and become a living stone. And for some, it is almost impossible, because I just want to be a butterfly. For others, it's a relief. Oh, finally. Okay? So now I say to you, we play the butterfly, real, genuine Irish harp she music. And then start with the butterfly, and from time to time, stop and just stand and experience how it is that around you there are butterflies and stones, but you are not moving, right? And then, when you feel, go into the butterfly again. But change an experience. Okay. So, oh, what happened here? Sorry, it's my connection here. Yeah. What?
Der er ikke
We are having some she interruptions. And just stand quietly. Take the position, stand. And just be with this. Mixture of movement and standing. Both lives within. When they are separated, we become less. When they join, we become more. To be a butterfly whirlwind and a centered standing stone at the same time. So right now, I would like everybody to open their eyes. Let's all open our eyes. And then I would like everybody here to find another person in the room here and just share for a moment what was difficult, what was easy, how does it feel to be a butterfly, how does it feel to be a standing stone. Find another one, come together, share a little, because there's a lot of things to discover here. We are very different people. Perhaps you're looking right at the person, and if you have to look a lot, it's not because you're not loved. Find another one. Everybody needs to find another one. Be invitive. Oh, that's a problem. You do it with me. Okay, nice, thank you. Okay. So, thank you. Wonderful. Let's just have, it's incredible. I just tried to count us. I think we are 70 people here. But anyway, any impressions of just what was difficult, what was easy? Just pop up with something. Let's see what emerges. So you find both things great.
Yeah. Going from the stone to the butterfly was like in the morning,
Yeah.
But otherwise, I felt like when I was talking like the butterfly is part of, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, we need a mic.
Hello, sorry. So I just didn't feel much more difference actually, and it was when I was a stone, I felt the butterfly is part of me, and vice versa, and so it was really interesting experience. It's just that the going from the stillness to go back to the movement was a little bit. I felt resistance,
Yeah.
but otherwise didn't feel much more different.
Well, translate that into your life. Would you say that you have a good balance between rest and activity?
No, I'm completely active all the time, or either dead or active. So there is not.
Oh, dead or active. That's a new pair of polarities.
Yeah.
But I think it's all about bringing this into our lives. This is an exercise, but it really, the purpose is to stir something that can begin moving in new directions in our own life. So, for instance, when you say that, well, I think it would be good both for your human and your she nature to cherish the so-called inactive moments and experience the aliveness there and not the zombie. Do you get my point?
Yes.
But it's easy to, I'm just trying to point at that it's always a practical aspect here. And perhaps you will be amazed what will happen if you just make small new things happen like that. Sometimes we think, it's a huge program, just like losing 30 pounds, or whatever. And then we give up beforehand. Small adjustments. How do I cherish the silent moments where I simply sit and just experience that I don't even bother having an exercise now. I'm so at ease that this is not even an exercise. Do you get my point?
That makes completely sense, yeah.
Yeah, but because as soon as we say exercise, discipline. If I do this so long, I can reach this goal. But simply, this is not an exercise. I rest and I'm awake. And people say, oh, that's mindfulness. Yes, but it's she-fulness too. And it is an opening. I've just given you, is it okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Who was very different in the experience? Yes.
I waited for you to say, now we do the mountain. And that is typical the German. I waited until the command is done.
Yeah.
And I saw others already are mountains.
Yeah.
I was still a butterfly. And I was angry a bit. Now tell us, it's time. It was so funny. And then I started to be in my own authority. When I felt like being a mountain, I did a mountain. And when I felt to be a butterfly, so it was the shift. It was not inside mountain. I can be very nice, good mountain. I can be a very playful butterfly.
Great.
But that shift, that command which I waited for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Really good. I can confess, to me, to be in the silent, centered area, in some ways it is easy, in other ways it's difficult. I think the exercise or the playfulness here is always a wonderful chance to experience how is my condition right now? How am I right now with it? And if I'm a very flexible person like this, so just boom. It's very different, but it's very important. Just, you don't need to do anything. Actually, what this weaving creates is a portal. Where do we have the... okay. And there is a third one. Just a second. What this really does is that when we start working, playing, I should say, with the mountain and the butterfly, or the stone and the dancer, it really weaves in something new in our lives. So it is all about both at the same time, you could say. It's not this or that. So our she-nature is very adaptable and very centered at the same time. And this creates the portal of our she-nature, the basic aspect of being a portal between worlds, because movement is needed and a completely anchored presence is needed. Otherwise, we are no portals. We're just drifting tree on the ocean, and we are not able to. Do you get my point? It's very important because our she relatives are portals between worlds, and we are also portals between the worlds. But often the sections are very closed, so we need to. It's a kind of massage, you could say, so that we rediscover this flexibility, so we can stand and move at the same time. I'm not talking any longer because you had something to say, right? Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is that maybe it connects with what you're saying. I just love that moment of being in mountain, and in mountain feeling the impulse to become a butterfly. And that very moment, which I think is a moment of being mountain and also being butterfly at the same time. And it's that slight, magical moment. And I just loved the experience. I cherished it.
Oh, great.
So thank you.
Oh, it's great. Oh, it's great. I mean, what I experience very often is that doing stuff like this, many of us long for doing it, but when on earth do we get an occasion to do it? And we need also to create spaces where this is much more normal. And the playfulness and the inventiveness in how can we do things differently and improvise is really something that really makes us into form shifters. I'm so happy that the word form shifting came in very early in this gathering, because it's a major ability for our she relatives. They are so flexible in their energy that if needed, they can take the form of everything, if needed. But as Mariel through David has said, most of the adult she don't, because it's not necessary. It's like children's play. You don't need to do it because you master it in a way. So the young she, they love to turn into all kinds of forms, and the adult she, they are much more stable in their function, unless it serves a purpose. I can say that my own experiences with Findhorn is that sometimes I've experienced him really as a landscape that ends up in a humanoid form, sometimes with antlers, sometimes not. Sometimes I've even experienced him as a huge honeybird, but it doesn't make sense. But something resembling a honeybird when he was trying to adapt into my energy field, which is quite an operation for him to do sometimes, because my human turmoil is not always... I mean, when you are not really there where you are supposed to be, it's very difficult for our she friends to relate to us, because they have to, as David has said, cross the waters when the wind is blowing, and it's not very good to cross the waters over to connection with us when it's very unstable. They use a lot of energy to do that. Does it make sense? Great. Thank you. I think, yeah.
The other thing, is it on? Yeah. That I noticed was when I became a mountain, how wonderful it was to feel all the movement around me. So I got the feeling of how trees feel when we rush by them, and that was wonderful. And I didn't feel envious. I felt cooperative. Of course, I got to be a butterfly in just a few, 20 seconds later. But it was very pleasant and interesting, and just the difference, but also just feeling that aliveness around me and knowing that I was just as alive as the butterflies.
Exactly.
Just a different form.
Exactly. Beautiful. But just take in all the learning we are just sharing right now. It's all very, very essential for unfolding our she-nature. It really is. Great. I would like us, if we could just pretend to sit on our seats again. Not for the rest of the time, but just for some moments. So, one thing I find very important is when I, in my earlier sharing, told about the she school Susie and I have in Denmark, it is not a school where we tell people what to do, and we are the authority that, brings it down to the people. It is a learning space, a shared space of learning, and the most important thing is when the engagement between all of us and this is also what we are doing right now. It is a space of discoveries, and the things that come out of this is so important for learning new things all the time. So, although I am a teacher and although Susie is a teacher, we don't consider ourselves authorities, but more igniting processes, and then, of course, facilitating it in the best possible way. And there's nothing new in this. Findhorn is all about that. I mean, it's nothing new, but when you focus on the she-nature, it's very important to keep this space of equality, that we are eye to eye and not above and below, but we invite the she presence in that field to become a partner and a playful participant in discovering living wholeness. Because this is really what our she friends have not lost. They have not lost the sense of wholeness. Then the question might arise, well, what are they struggling with? Because it sounds so magical and wonderful and fantastic what they do and are, but what about their challenges? And one of their challenges actually is, let me put it differently, they are quite impressed by our ability to be in such a solid state of physicality, because this physicality is much more dense than their physicality. So when they witness what we can manifest in this heavy, dense reality, it is quite a mystery for them. It is like looking into a foreign country you have never visited yet and say, whoa, how do they do that? So just to give you a glimpse of the learning that goes both ways, I can share with you, several years back I was having a workshop in Copenhagen, a she workshop. And Saturday was ended and I had my evening for myself, and it was November, and cold and dark, and the snow was also coming. But I like to go in Copenhagen, so I took a long walk. And then I just remember, oh, I think I'll invite Findhorn on my walk. So I invite him to experience my world through me. I open myself up, and it actually is so simple. You just have to invite your she relatives to experience how human life is. And what happened was, I was walking in the streets, and I was looking at the windows with the displays of all kinds of things for sale, you know, the shop windows. And suddenly, I very distinctly experienced that he was like this. Whoa. He was really looking into what I was just being part of, and I felt this deep feelings, sensation, atmosphere of deep respect for us humans, that we are really able to do this in this way, that we have come all the way into this density, and we can do this. And he was full of, you know, surprise. I don't know if he had not seen anything like this before through me or through others, but he was really surprised. And I felt a pressure to write something down, not channeling, you know, but his intentions. So I rushed back to the place where I was and started writing down. And his most important sharing was, he really wanted to honor us for our daring mission to be where we are and to do this. And it was like, I bow before you humans and say, this is incredible what you are doing. And then he extended his hospitality for further sharings. But what left me with the deepest impression was, I felt moved because I felt he was moved. It was not a human being moved. It was something close to, but yet very distant compared to our world, because he's definitely not used to experience this. So I don't know what he does with these experiences, but when he shares in his world, of course, he shares learnings from, whoa, guys, I've just been with him, the strange one. I've looked into his world, you know, and it makes differences. So that's very important. Another thing I think is very important is that I'm talking about the mountain and the butterfly, as also can be called the stone and the dancer. These two needs to meet and not live a separated life. I could give you a hint to how it relates to our own energetic system by saying, I really want to avoid being orthodox in any way. We could say that the stone is the root chakra, and the dancer is the sacral or hara chakra. Do you get it? Those of you who know about the chakras already, you will know that the base, the root chakra, is really connected to standing. Stand up and stand for yourself and be in the world and be centered as you. Root. Be rooted. And then as we come up to the next, well, there's rhythm. It's from here. You also have the physical balance point of the body when we move. In Tai Chi or whatever, the hara or the sacral area is connected to movement and rhythm. So we have the stone and the dancer below in our basement, you could almost say, in the basic parts of our nature. But it's not the whole story. It is the start of an unfolding within us. So the rest of our unfoldment is other aspects being added of our she nature. Does that make sense? So the stone and the dancer are really very fundamental, or we could call the mountain and the butterfly. I think it's a funny feeling to have a butterfly. We almost talk about butterflies down here, but we are a little bit further south. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Say something?
Yes.
Well, I'm actually living this right now. I'll stand up actually.
Good.
I'm very sorry I missed you this morning. I was playing the piano madly. And I've just come along with my friends, but I just wanted to share, I've actually been living what you're talking about for many years, and I went through Kundalini rising, where all the energy comes up the body. I mean, I was quite awakened before, and I met my twin soul, and we have alter egos. Well, I'm called Fairy, he's Pixie, and to my horror, I was told that my guide came in and said, we're going to grow you. And I said, oh, that's good, I'm going to grow. And they said, no, we're going to double your size. And I still didn't quite understand. I mean, my friends do, they've been with me. And I was literally doubled physically in size, my spirit. And I have travelled the whole of this country to every stone circle. And I've merged with every stone. And it's the she energy. And I go with my twin, who's a pixie, and I'm a fairy. And we're mad musicians. It is not just a myth, it's real. And it's the energy coming through. And when I'm with you all, I can see all the dimensions. We're very close. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a butterfly shirt, so it fits very well. Oh, this is very nice. I could keep it. No. We are so many people, and it's impossible to get all around everybody, but are there people who have some things coming up right now you should not let go? I don't believe there are not anybody.
It's the sound. For me, I call it sound weaving, but it flows.
Just wait for the mics.
Yeah, I should have kept it and then just.
Hi, thank you. Sound. Sound is everything for me. It's my first language without words. It's the way I communicate with water and bodies of water. That's how I co-create. And so when you've talked about how sound is there and singing is their language, it is also mine. And so I'd love to hear, how that fits in.
And good you do it. Okay. So I pick up here and say, okay, here we have the stone, and here we have the dancer. And now I'm just using the chakras as one way of relating this, because normally I don't, but I think it's interesting to see that it actually relates to our energy system in a beautiful way. So we have stone and dancer here. Here at the throat, we have the singer. And the singer is another facet of our she nature. So the stone and the dancer makes a basic operation possible as our she nature unfolds. And then we let go of the singer. And it's very important to say that, Fjaldur has encouraged me to explore when I stumble on words. He always has the intention that says, go to the root of the words, it always ends in singing. He doesn't understand Danish or English. He understands intentions and images, perceptions, but he's absolutely confident that at the root of every word there is song, because language is flowing water song that has become ice cubes, right? As I told you earlier. And again and again, it is very interesting that when you go to the roots of words, you end up that words in their etymology, I think it is, etymology, ends up with a storytelling. There's a story being told, and we could say that the root of language is the storytelling that is actually a song of creation. So expressing everything is a song of creation. If I could let a very skilled clairvoyant observer describe what happens with my mouth when I speak, this observer would say that clairvoyantly, astrally, energetically, something comes out of my mouth and creates forms. So we really do this, and when we start singing, it becomes much more alive. So I could imagine that future speech would be much more like a song than like and especially Danish, because no. So we have, you could say, our inner she singer is up here, and then we have a weaver. We have the she weaver in us is in the brow area where we see wholeness. We weave connections, because in our brow we say, ah, now I see, you know. You know all this. You don't need to know about chakras. You can just, oh, now I get it. I see, you know. So we connect with imagination. So we have sound here, we have voice, sound, song in the throat, and we have imagination, which is the creative fire of the mold of forms, the melting pot of creating new forms, weaving new patterns. So now we have a new pair. We have the singer and the weaver. And then you might think, okay, but you have still 3 chakras left in the traditional way. And then I will say, okay, but we have 2 pairs. We have the stone and the dancer. We have the singer and the weaver. And then there is a journey going on, and this journey is the journey from the solar plexus area to the heart. This is the journey of healing, of bringing home into wholeness that connectedness, which is the magic of being connected all the time. So here in the heart, I would use the word the magician. Not the traditional magician, but the she-magician aspect of our nature. When the other aspects are really in activity, the heart is the grand uniting force in the whole system. So we get a completeness of our she-nature. This is a journey. It's not, have you done it? No, I'm here now, I'm not there yet. It doesn't work like that. We open all the aspects of our nature at one time, but we do it individually and very differently. But I would say that the stone and the dancer, the singer and the weaver unite in the magician, which is the unfolding completeness of our she-nature. And this is a journey. This is something beginning now. It is something we don't know what it ends with. We don't know how we will be at that point. And then someone would say, but you omitted the crown chakra. Well, this is the source of all of it. So I don't need to go further. But what I would like to do is, because the red light is there, that we end this session by doing something together as a simple celebration of our she-nature. Would you like that? Yeah. Okay, let's all rise up, and you're very welcome to come down on the floor again, because time flies more than I want. So this is just a way of inviting us all to have a very simple way of uniting and centering what we are in a greeting that is also a celebration. I think the word celebration comes from our she relatives. It is really, they celebrate life. We need to celebrate much more. So, if you follow my movements, so we start by opening up and we say, endless sky.
Endless sky.
And we'll do this 3 times, so I'm sure we can get, okay, right. Right now, this is rehearsal. We need to really experience that we connect. Okay, then the next comes down to the floor. Touch the floor with your hands and say, deep Gaia.
Deep Gaia.
Yes. And then we rise up. We need to do this with love. And then we say, and we do this like this. Blowing wind.
Blowing wind.
And we do. Burning fire.
Burning fire.
And we do this. Flowing water.
Flowing water.
And we say, fragrant earth.
Fragrant earth.
And then we conclude by saying, and you put your hands on your heart, and you need to have space to spread out your arms. And you say, and repeat after me, in my green, wild sun heart. In my wee, wild sun heart. Okay, now this was rehearsal. Now it comes. Okay, twice more. We need really to get into it. And it's also a way of anchoring, so we can leave this space without being homeless butterflies. Okay. Endless sky. Deep Gaia.
Deep Gaia.
Blowing wind.
Blowing wind.
Burning fire. Flowing water. Fragrant earth. In my green, wild sun heart. And you spread it out. Oh, everybody, really a celebration. And now we do it the third and last time, and we are what we do. Now we are not rehearsing anything. We are what we do. Okay. Endless sky. Deep Gaia. Blowing wind. Burning fire. Flowing water. Fragrant earth. In my green, wild sun heart. And we greet all our she friends with our green, wild sun hearts. And we greet each other, and we greet all living presences at Findhorn. And we promise to leave this room grounded and not with the arms out like this, because thank you.